Psalm 78, a well-written song by Asaph. Pay attention, my people, to my instruction. Listen to the words I speak. I will sing a song that imparts wisdom. I will make insightful observations about the past, what we have heard and learned, that which our ancestors have told us. We will not hide from their descendants. We will tell the next generation about the Lord's praiseworthy acts, about the strength and the amazing things he has done. He has established a rule in Jacob. He set up a law in Israel. He commanded our ancestors to make his deeds known to their descendants, so that the next generation, children yet to be born, might know about them. They will grow up and tell their descendants about them. Then they will place their confidence in God. They will not forget the works of God, and they will obey his commands. Then they will not be like their ancestors, who were stubborn and a rebellious generation, a generation that was not committed and faithful to God. So we have I'm going to teach you a song. It's going to be a good song. It's going to be for your kiddies. Make sure you teach the song to your kids because they need to know what God has done. The song will tell of what God has done. God has done great things. Teach the song about what they've done because our ancestors, they witnessed it, but they were stubborn and they did not follow God. We want to follow God. We need to know what God has done. He's a faithful God. He's committed God. He is going to give us all that he has promised. Be faithful to him. Teach this song to your kids. The Ephraimites were armed with bows, but they retreated in the day of battle. They did not keep their covenant with God, and they refused to obey his law. They forgot what he had done, the amazing things he had shown them. He did amazing things in their sight of their ancestors in the land of Egypt, in the region of Zoan. He divided the sea and led across it. He made the waters stand in a heap. He led them by cloud by day and the light of fire all night long. So we have those in the land of Ephraimites. Oh, okay, so Ephraimites are going to be the part of the northern kingdom. They know what God has done. Well, let's recount what God has done. He led them by the sea. He opened the sea up. He had them in a heap, the water in a heap. He led them by the cloud of fire. We're recounting all of the deliverance out of Egypt. He broke open the rocks in the wilderness and gave them enough water to fill the depths of the sea. He caused streams to flow from the rock and made the waters flow like rivers. Yet they continued to sin against him and rebel against the Most High in the desert. They willingly challenged God by asking for food to satisfy their appetite. So even in the desert, while they're being delivered, as God is providing for them, they challenge God. They insulted God, saying, "Is God really able to give us food in the wilderness?" Yes, he struck a rock and water flowed out. Streams gushed forth. But can he also give us food? Will he provide meat for his people? So you watched him do something miraculous, water from a rock, and you're like, meat is a hard thing. Too hard for God to give meat. When the Lord heard this, he was furious. A fire broke out against Jacob, and his anger flared up against Israel because they did not have faith in God and did not trust his ability to deliver. So notice that the song includes not only the good that God did, but it also teach to your children that the people of God did not put their faith and trust in God along the way. So that's also part of the story. Their lack of faithfulness to God is part of the story, just as God's faithfulness to them is. He gave a command to the clouds and opened the doors of the sky. He rained down manna for them to eat. He gave them the grain of heaven. Man ate the food of the mighty ones. He sent them more than enough to eat. He brought the east wind through the sky, and by the strength led forth the south wind. All right, I'm going to pause here on the mighty ones. I want to see what the footnote says there. Also, grain of heaven. Let's look at that first. Manna was apparently shaped like a seed, perhaps explaining why it is here compared to a grain. Okay. It's also, we're in a psalm. It's metaphorical. It's poetic license. So that's all I need to know there. The mighty ones. Because of the reference to heaven in the preceding verse, it is likely that the mighty ones refer here to the angels in heaven. The LXX translates angels here, as do a number of modern translations. So he ate the food, man ate the food of the angels, the food of the mighty ones. Okay. So, yeah, I think the mighty ones is fine. Angels, angelic beings, that makes sense. All right, so the east wind is coming. He rained down meat on them like dust, birds as numerous as the sands of the seashore. He caused them to fall right into the middle of the camp, all around their homes. They ate until they were beyond full. He gave them what they desired. They were not yet filled up. Their food was still in their stomachs when the anger of God flared up against them. He killed some of the strongest of them. He brought the young men of Israel to their knees. Despite all this, they continued to sin. So it didn't go into details there, but this is the story of the serpents coming in as they continue to complain and the bronze serpent being lifted up. So we're getting a full recount here. Teach this song to your kids. Despite all this, they continued to sin and did not trust in him to do amazing things. So he caused them to die unsatisfied and filled with terror. I don't know what tune I'm singing, but it just felt like it worked. When he struck them down, they sought his favor. They turned back and longed for God. They remembered that God was their protector and that God Most High was their deliverer. But they deceived him with their words and lied to him. So we've got then the next time they turned back, but they did not stay. They were not really committed to him. They were unfaithful to his covenant. Yet he is compassionate. He forgives sins and does not destroy. He often holds back his anger and does not stir up his fury. He remembered that they were made of flesh and were like the wind that blows past and does not return. How often they rebelled against him in the wilderness and insulted him in the wastelands. They again challenged God and offended the holy ones of Israel. They did not remember what he had done, how he had delivered them from the enemy, when he performed his awesome deeds in Egypt and his acts of judgment in the region of Zoan. He turned their rivers into blood, and they could not drink from their streams. He sent swarms of biting insects against them. He, as well as frogs that overran their land, he gave their crops to the grasshoppers, the fruit of their labor to locusts. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore fig tree with driving rain. He rained hail down on their cattle. He hurled lightning bolts down on their livestock. His raging anger lashed out against them. He sent fury, rage, and trouble as messengers who bring disaster. He sent his anger in full force. He did not spare them from death. He handed their lives over to destruction. He struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, the firstfruits of their reproductive power in the tents of Ham. Okay, so I just wanted to get all the way to the end there in case you did not get this. This was going through and recanting all of the plagues, the power that they witnessed, the power in the land. So we're backtracking. If you didn't get it, what they did in the desert, and now we're going to when he brought them out. They witnessed all of these things. Make sure you teach your kids all the things that were the hand of God around the people. They happened over and over and over. And even Egypt could not stop God's actions. Yet he brought out his people like sheep. He led them through the wilderness like a flock. He guided them safely along, and they were not afraid. But the sea covered their enemy. He brought them to the border of his holy land, to the mountainous land that his right hand acquired. He drove out the nations from before them. He assigned them their tribal allotments and allowed the tribes of Israel to settle down. Yet they challenged and defied God Most High and did not obey his command. So we've got all the things that God has done, the character of God, and their negligence to follow him. They were unfaithful and acted treacherously as their ancestors. They were as unreliable as a malfunctioning bow. They made him angry with their pagan shrines and made him jealous with their idols. God heard and was angry. He completely rejected Israel. He abandoned the sanctuary at Shiloh, the tent where he lived among them. Okay, so the abandoning the tent at Shiloh, this is in the time of Samuel and Eli, Samuel being a kid at the time, when the Ark of the Covenant is taken away. So he abandons them. They think they can just take the ark and make God do what they want because they've got the ark, this device that God has given them. We can use it as we see fit. God is obligated. Not how it happens. He allowed the symbol of his strong presence to be captured. He gave the symbol of his pleasant splendor into the hand of the enemy. He delivered his people over to the sword and was angry with his chosen nation. Fire consumed their young men, and their virgins remained unmarried. Their priests fell by the sword, and their widows did not weep. But then the Lord awoke from his sleep. He was like a warrior in a drunken rage. He drove his enemies back. He made them a permanent target for insults. He rejected the tent of Joseph. He did not choose the tribe of Ephraim. He chose the tribe of Judah and Mount Zion, which he loves. He made his sanctuary as enduring as the heavens above, as secure as the earth, which he established permanently. So we have the Ephraim was the one who came out. Why use Ephraim? Because Ephraim is one of the descendants of Joseph. Joseph was there for the bringing out of the land. Ephraim has been a failure compared to Joseph and what he did on behalf of the people. Therefore, Ephraim is rejected. Judah is selected. Now, assuming that the psalm may have been written before the divided kingdom, we would say, oh, well, they don't even know the divided kingdom to say Ephraim's the north and Judah's the south. But maybe it's written after. We don't know exactly when these are written. He chose David, his servant, and took him from the sheepfolds. He took him away from following the mother sheep and made him the shepherd of Jacob, his people, and of Israel, his chosen nation. David cared for them with pure motives. He led them with skill. So this is a reflection on David. It's not one that David, himself had written. So reflection on the people. Teach this new song to the people so they don't fall into the trap, into the ways that the ancestors did when they strayed away from God.